Well, week 5 of the high school football season, we're officially already to the midway point. And tonight I was out on the west side. Ben Davis and Warren Central turned out to be a fantastic game between these rivals. Ben Davis ends up winning 31-28. But this was a game where Warren, it felt like, was really starting to gain some momentum as the game went along. Held Ben Davis to 3 points in the second half, and it was enough. Ben Rudolph hit a 38-yard field goal about midway through the fourth quarter. Ben Davis had to hold on. Warren Central marched down the field, had a pass on 3rd and 10 from the 14-yard line, and man, it was close to being complete. Just kind of slipped out of the hands of a Warren Central receiver, pretty well covered. But a pretty good throw too by freshman Anthony Dennison, who came on after Keith Jackson, the starting quarterback for Warren Central, got hurt in the first quarter, and Warren, looked at that point like it was going to be really tough to move the ball. Of course, playing a freshman at the 6A level at quarterback, especially, very difficult to do. They kind of eased him into the game and ran the ball really well. I thought Warren, for the most part, was able to run the ball with success, and that kind of helped Dennison out. And then defensively, played really well as the game went along, especially in the fourth quarter and really all the second half, keeping Ben Davis off the scoreboard. But Ben Davis ends up winning it. Kind of it's a little bit strange after the game, where normally this game you're really up and hyped up, and I didn't really sense Ben Davis feeling that way after such a close game, and felt like they're a little disappointed. I mean, that's basically what they said. Russ Mann, Ben Davis coach, it's going to be tough to look at the film after this one. It was kind of a sloppy, 15 penalties in the game on Ben Davis, and just a lot of missed opportunities because of that. Mark Zachary had a touchdown where he kind of weaved out of traffic across the whole field for a pass from Thomas Gatkowski, and scored a touchdown. I think it was 72 yards. And, because there was a block at the end of that play that was totally unnecessary, he had to come back, and then Ben Davis doesn't score and then misses a field goal. That was the first drive of the third quarter. And then from that point on, I thought, Warren Central's defense, Damian Shanklin and Tyrone Burris are absolutely trouble up front for a lot of teams at defensive end, and I thought they made a lot of plays. Shanklin knocking some balls down, Burris getting to the quarterback, Shanklin getting to the quarterback. Yeah, even both stopping the run as well. Warren just didn't quite have enough to win this game, and they were hurt too by there's an interception return for a touchdown in the second quarter that gave Ben Davis the lead, 47-yard return for a touchdown, and that put Ben Davis up 21-20. Then Ben Davis goes down right before halftime, and Elijah Price takes a 18-yard reception into the end zone, and they go up 28-20. So at that point, you're kind of thinking, going into half, it's kind of all Ben Davis a little bit, or feeling like it's going to get that way in the second half. But like I said, that first drive of the third quarter, Warren gets the stop. They force the field goal miss off the goalpost, and then they both just kind of play back and forth. It's 5 possessions combined where neither team is able to score. And then Warren finally does on they get a big run down to the, Clark made a big run down to the 11-yard line of Ben Davis, down to the 14-yard line. There's about a 41-yard run. And then about 5 plays later, he takes it in from 1 yard out. And then they get the 2-point conversion, tie at 28-28. And that's where it stood until the next Ben Davis possession. And Warren tried an onside kick, didn't get it. Ben Rudolph ends up getting a 38-yard field goal, nails it. And that turned out to be the final margin. Warren, their next possession went 3 and out, but then they force a 3 and out and then get the ball back. And nice pass got Warren down to the 39. They got a pass interference, got him to the 24, and then another pass got him to the 12. So the ball sat at the 12-yard line in the final minute there. They downed the ball to stop the clock, and then 2 incompletions, including that last one I talked about that was a really good throw, and could have been caught potentially, as fairly well defended as well. But freshman quarterback Dennison put that ball where it needed to be, and I thought he he's a freshman. He's this. It's hard for, especially at the 6A level, to come in and compete. Uh, and be ready for that. But I thought he did pretty well. And unfortunately, I think Keith Jackson is going to be out for a while. That was a really severe. Talking to Mike Kirshner after the game, Warren's coach said that's looked like a pretty severe arm injury, unfortunately, and hate to see that for him. He was injured at times last year, and just broke off a long run. And his option game and his speed could have given Warren Central obviously another weapon on offense that they could have used. But they'll probably have to ride with the freshman at least for the foreseeable future here. And I thought he did some good things. Warren Central ran the ball with success. I think that's something they can go back to, and I think they can gain a little bit of confidence out of that passing game. But really, the defense is where they can give teams problems. Russ Mann, the Ben Davis coach, very impressed. Called them very clean on defense, and they were. I mean, they made tackles. It was just a very good effort on that side of the ball by Warren. So, but Ben Davis does get the win, and Mark Zachary again, huge game. Elijah Price, huge game, and that defense came up with a play when they needed to. Like I said, making that interception return. Two of Warren's touchdowns were on the opening kickoff of the game, and then they had a punt return as well. So yeah, they made some hay on special teams, and that really helped out. Obviously you put 2 touchdowns on the board on special teams. That's extremely helpful. Kyron Williams was the kickoff return that went for 95 yards to open the game. I thought that was a little bit of a tone setter to get them off to a good start, and then it kind of carried them a little bit through the first half. So yeah, Ben Davis does get the win, and I'll address after that touchdown to make it 28-28. There was you could hear 3 or 4 pop sounds off in the distance, and honestly, I didn't think anything of it too much. I thought it was fireworks, to be honest with you, at the time. But then as I'm typing stuff down, you then look back up and you see people running from both sides of the field to the respective locker rooms. The cheerleaders, some fans running from the bleachers. The teams took off, I'm sure, told to do that. Mike Kirshner, as he's running around the field, he's telling his family to get off the field, and they're sitting down there in the end zone, telling the cheerleaders and whatnot to get off the field. So, at that moment, I didn't really know for sure what was going on. You fear the worst a little bit in that moment, obviously, and fortunately, you saw the police lights there to the north of the field house on the north end of the stadium, and we were told very quickly over the PA that the police determined there was fireworks apparently in that neighborhood or over in that direction. It was never fully clear on where exactly that was, but somewhere in that direction. And then very quickly the game started again. So it couldn't have been, there wasn't even sort of a warming up again. It was just teams came back out, the game started again, and we finished, and it was a great game. I know some people on social media, kind of making their own thing about it and whatever. I mean, I can't react to how other people react. Just kind of reporting in the moment what happened, and what happened was that never, obviously the game continued, and that's kind of the bottom line. And people can make of it what they want to. I guess that's their prerogative. But the game continued. Ben Davis ends up winning the game, 31-28. And like I said, not a real super enthusiastic scene from the Ben Davis side. I think they felt like they could play a lot better. I think Warren comes out of this game feeling like we can compete, and I think probably Mike Kirshner wasn't like super happy about how they played, but he said there are some good things they can take out of that, and with Pike coming up next week, that's a game they should win as well. Elsewhere in the week 5 slate, Westfield got a huge win, 30-28 on the last play of the game to beat HSE on a pass. Jacob Gilbert to Kendall Garnett. That was right at the goal line. I know there's a lot of arguing last night about, is that a touchdown? Is that not? It was right on the goal line. But Westfield went right down the field after Jalen Alexander scored in the final minute to put HSC ahead and then got the touchdown amazingly there at the end. So Westfield just keeps winning these close games. That's HSC's first loss, so that'll shake up the rankings for sure. It's kind of just they've been a team that just finds a way to get it done. That Westfield team. Another big one over in the HCC at Brownsburg. It was Brownsburg 42-28 over Fishers, and Garrett Sherrill had a huge game running, and they kind of were able to hold off Fishers there at the end. Fishers had some momentum, and they were able to stifle it. And Sherrill had 282 on the ground on 24 carries, including a 76-yard run. He had a 7-yard run for a touchdown. And just overall, really a strong offensive game for Brownsburg as they hold off and win over Fishers tonight. Plainfield beat Greenwood 46-20. These games, all we have stories on at IndyStar.com. Plainfield really dominated the second half of that game to win 46-20. It was only 22-14 at halftime in that one, but they get the win. Again, Luke Starnes had a big game, ran for 4 touchdowns, and this is the first 5-0 start for Plainfield since 2006. So they're setting themselves up for some big games down the stretch of the season here out there in Hendricks County. Tri-West beat Danville 21-0. Again, we have a story on that game. That game was 0-0 at halftime. But Tri-West, Malachi Walden, 205 rushing yards. And obviously Tri-West really able to hold down the Danville offense in that game, shut them out. That's a game, again, we could see that game possibly down the road in the sectional. Those teams normally seems like play twice a year. Roncalli got a big win tonight, 35-21. They beat Guerin Catholic. And good offensive performance from Roncalli. Ben Brandenburg, 152 yards on the ground. And Ryan Zimmerman had 261 through the air for Guerin, but they were playing from behind after halftime. It was 14-7 at halftime, and then Roncalli went ahead by 2 touchdowns there. So they're playing from behind in the second half, and big win for Roncalli. Martinsville beat Franklin 32-14. Martinsville, that's that Mid-State Conference. Like I said before, that's topsy-turvy. Seems like anybody can win on a given night. Cathedral 49-6 over North Central. Carmel got a big win, 17-14 over Lawrence North. That game went right down to the wire. Carmel got a touchdown from Ozzie Pollard late in the game there. That was actually in the third quarter to go ahead. And then Lawrence North had a chance down there. I haven't seen the story on that one yet, but I know they had a chance down there at the end to tie and couldn't do it. And Carmel again beats Lawrence North. That's been a tough game over the years, Lawrence North to get over the hump and beat Carmel. So Lawrence North drops to 4-1 on the season now, and Carmel improves to 3-2 after that win. Cardinal Ritter beat Shortridge 37-28. Hamilton Heights, again, another big win, 32-0 over Western. Heritage Christian beats Scecina 35-21. That's a bit of an upset. Scecina was ranked number 1 in Class 2A. Beech Grove beat Southport 38-9. Bishop Chatard again, 28-3 over Columbus North. So they come back after that big win last week over Cathedral and get another win over a 6A team. Noblesville beat Zionsville 24-7. That's a big win for Noblesville. They needed an HCC win. That's a good feather in their cap. Greenfield Central 47-0 over Shelbyville. Decatur Central 27-21 over Mooresville. A comeback win for the Hawks in that one. A big second half. They were down 14-8 at halftime in that game and able to come back and win. So, again, another really good mid-state game. Triton Central 49-35, a wild one. They scored 21 points in the fourth to beat Indian Creek in that game. And then some other scores from tonight. I haven't seen everything. Center Grove beat Harvest Prep out of Ohio 36-18. I would assume Center Grove, I don't know if that'll the rankings are going to be, I don't know, Brownsburg right now, they'll stay number one, I'm sure. Center Grove, I've been voting them number one at this point, and a lot of people also have been voting for Ben Davis, so it's kind of split between those three teams right now. So a lot of options there in 6A. So Mount Vernon beat Delta, that's another one, 31-20. New Pal beat Pendleton Heights, 34-14. Going through here, Western Boone gets beat. North Montgomery beats Western Boone 20-17. Park Tudor big win, 47-7 over Shenandoah. Perry Meridian, how about Perry Meridian, 28-13. The Falcons over Whiteland. So big win. They've been on the come up here. So good win for Perry. And that program that's obviously struggled in recent years. They're much better this season, clearly. Monrovia 45-35, wild win over Speedway. So I think that's about it. Lutheran beat Cascade 49-13. Lebanon over Frankfort 42-6. Lawrence Central beat Pike 28-20. And LaPel beat Decatur, North Decatur 42-7. So again, I had Ben Davis Warren tonight. East Side West Side rivalry. Ben Davis wins it again by the score of 31-28. So thanks again. Didn't mean to make this quite so long, but good game tonight. East Side West Side. Ben Davis wins it. Thanks a lot, and hope you had fun in week 5.